And depending on how fast it moves, it's going to be more intense or not as intense. And that could all, be with a lot, or just when it moves. Say you capture something on the thermal, if it was just sitting there, perhaps you wouldn't pick it up. It may be a little lighter of a color. As soon as it moves, you have that heat discharge, and that's what you may be picking up. But that is, of course, all speculation. It's not like we have a factual basis for that. Even scientists say, look, there's obviously no facts in your field. But if we had to put our heads together and give you a best guess, that's what it would be. But a lot of different things. I mean, no matter how it works, when you're holding it and you're in front of a tree or something that you know is not reflective, and you're outside and you see the shape of a person, and you're just, there's no one there, and it's not me, I'm waving, my arm's not moving, I don't see this, and then you freak out, and you say, holy shoot, I love it.
Thank you. I've just always wondered that.
Sure. Amy, I don't know if you can expand on that at all.
Oh, I can't. No.
You always surprise me. I'll be like, Amy, and she'll whip out all these facts and all this crazy stuff at one time. Nope. I got nothing for you, Steve. Thanks. Yes.
Hello. I've always wanted to ask, have you guys ever had an entity attach itself to you? Like follow you?
It's a good question.
I have not personally, and people always ask, do you do anything before an investigation, or do you have anything that you carry with you to, that makes you feel safe? And I really don't do that either. Like I really don't even entertain the notion that can happen. So I think that's why it doesn't. Maybe. I mean, I've heard of it happening, and I've investigated cases where it supposedly happened, but I just don't even give that. You know what I'm trying to say.
Right. You think it's possible, you've heard of it, but it's never happened to you.
It's never happened to me, and I just don't think it can, so therefore it won't.
Oh, okay. Well, myself anyway, every once in a while I'll just be wandering around, in my house, and I'll smell, something crazy, and I'm just like, did I bring this with me? And I've nicknamed this entity Flatulence. I'm just kidding, but to answer her questions, I am kidding, how dare you? Whoa, Amy,
Nope.
just kidding. I have heard of that, as Amy said, but it's never happened to me, and I've been doing it on not a daily basis, but at least an investigation every week or every 2 weeks for 15 years, and I've never had anything follow me. But I have heard of haunted people, and I'll come across cases where a person is haunted, where no matter where this person goes, there's something following. As a matter of fact, I had a case once, and he was talking to me, and actually I saw his collar just raise up and sort of go like that. And I was like, it doesn't like when I have my collar down. I'm like, it's kind of weird, but I did see your collar just rise and go crazy. He claimed to always have something with him. Yes, Miss.
I was just wondering what you thought about using animals in ghost hunting.
Using animals in ghost hunting. It's hard to quantify their evidence. They can't tell you what they're seeing, what they have. They're barking, but it's not like you can say, hey man, there's something weird over here. You could be barking. I don't know.
I know some teams have done it, but I always get this image of this dog with a camera strapped to his back, and go in, Sparky.
Yeah, I remember in Poltergeist, that dog was pretty jacked up. I mean, obviously that's not a real movie. I mean, a real, but I remember in the bedroom, before she got sucked up to the ceiling, that dog was just barking at the wall. She's like, it's really weird, that dog won't shut up.
That's right. I
Yes.
love that dog.
It would be fun to have a dog.
Or cats.
Or cats.
We should bring our cats.
I like to bring my cat in a case, but I don't know that it should be a little unruly.
That's true.
Yes, sir.
Hi. Early in the shows, when I first started, you guys used to use a medium. And
We did on our show.
I think in the first season, you had a girl who was a medium. I think I recall there was an episode you get re-investigated the ship.
Oh, yes. That's right. Maybe Heather, I think was her name.
In Carolina. But anyway, so I want to watch your show. We're intrigued by documenting the evidence, but it's interesting. So what is actually going on? Who is the spirit? Why are they there? And I know noticed you're sure you kind of stay away from discussing the why. So have you guys ever considered maybe going that direction, bringing it back to medium and trying to find out, yes, I mean, you proved, yes, this place is haunted or it's not, or there is activity, but you ever get into the why, what's going on? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. That's why we do our research, just to figure out how these things happen and all that. But it's hard to use mediums or psychics because you can never, validate or quantify their findings. They can tell you all day long that there's a person in the corner, but you'll never, ever know if they're telling you the truth or not. So we don't really use psychics or mediums too much. I would do that with an EVP session, maybe trying to get to the bottom of things. But Amy?
Yeah, no, I mean, I know a lot of groups out there use psychics as kind of just another tool, which I don't necessarily disagree with. I mean, we don't use them, and but I don't feel like you could base anything on, you couldn't base an entire case on what a psychic tells you. So I'd definitely be compelled if, like, they said something and then through an EVP it was verified or something, and together, that happened. But yeah.
Hey. So you mentioned earlier you've talked to scientists and they say that there's no fact in your field, which is true. What do you say to when people bring that up?
There is no facts in this field. I mean, I believe in facts. Like, I've seen things happen, so I know things can happen and things do exist. But unless I would never, try to tell somebody that they have to believe because, I don't know. There is no facts. It's all theory, speculation. You just have to, control the environment and, look for patterns and really figure it out yourself. But I agree with them. And people I say, well, how do you combat skeptics? And, are you upset when they don't believe in this and that? It's like, no, okay. I mean, I'm a skeptic. I'm quite a believer. I don't believe in anything. And I don't believe it unless I see it. I love tango, with everything I have, and I'd kill somebody for it. But even if he comes over to me and says, hey man, I just saw this shadow look crazy, I have a hard time unless I see it with my own eyes to just go, oh, I'm sure you did, But I think everybody should be that way in this field. Don't believe it, don't listen to it unless you personally see it. Don't call people, if Amy comes over and says, hey, I just saw that, I'm not going to go lie. I didn't go see this myself, Obviously believe, I don't think Amy would ever, you believe her, but you just want to see it yourself and really,
No, I agree completely. I think that was very well said. I agree.
So I've done, and I agree, I have nothing for you. What else are you guys saying?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Typically when you're doing your EVP work, you're directing questions to whatever entity might actually be present. Have you ever thought to ask what the entity might want or how you can help it and actually gotten a response back?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's really strange because we've gotten the whole gamut. We ask what do you want, and they're like, get out, or we get a lot of help me, or we try to ask why are you here. We've asked religious questions. Do you believe in God? We've asked do you know that you've died, or did you die? Do you know? And it's so strange because we get these answers that don't always correlate with a lot of theories that we have, and there's never really any one thing that they all ask for. So it's really hard to even speculate like what exactly is going on. You almost have more questions the more answers you get. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. Who in here are investigators, like paranormal investigators themselves? No, not many. That's actually. And who has investigated here in Atlanta? And now, do any of you have any thought on what like anything that we've said that we're maybe like we don't understand, we don't know, like anything you can throw at us, like theories, facts, because we learn every day with this stuff. And part of the reason I like to do these things with the panels and things, you get to talk to other investigators and really throw theories around and have fun with it. But that's cool. Yes, madam.
I'm curious why y'all never investigate during the day. A lot of apparitions, I've never seen one, but the way that they're described, you would think that you'd need to see them in light. And so I wonder why y'all never do an investigation during daylight.
Well, there's a few different reasons. One is that a lot of what we encounter is illuminated. You may run across an illuminated, glow or something. If you have all of the lights on, you're not going to see that. You just won't see it. Also, you want to recreate the conditions in which the client, supposedly has seen things. Most of the time, the stories are at night. The client says that, at 2:30 in the morning, all the lights are off and I'm on my couch and I see the shadow move right to left, and you want to be in those same conditions. Not only so you can maybe experience it, but also so you can help disprove it for them. Figure out what exactly it might be.